Well, good morning. Well, almost afternoon. Everybody, it's me, Mitch. I want to cook my breakfast, my usual bacon and eggs. And while I do that, I want to talk about what may be a controversial subject of carnivore snacks. Now, we're not unfamiliar with the concept of carnivore snacks. There are many videos out there on YouTube telling us how to make carnivore snacks. Anything, but primarily they kind of revolve around dried meat. There are companies that sell these carnivore snack bars, which are all meat and salt. When you're looking at carnivore, there's nothing unhealthy for a carnivore about eating these snacks. I'm sure many of you have thought when you started carnivore that snacks would be a major consideration, something that you have to account for, because how could you possibly ever survive or get into this lifestyle and not eat the proper snacks? The criteria for these snacks, of course, would have to be carnivore, which means they couldn't contain any of the ingredients that come from plants. They can't contain any sugar. But that basically just leaves cured meat, smoked meat, jerky, things like that. And those are great snacks because you can carry them with you anywhere when that urge, when that hunger comes over you, and you just need to have something to eat, because you just don't think you're going to be able to wait until your next meal. I don't know how many of you have experimented with these snacks or tried these snacks yet. I haven't. And so you're going to say to yourself, well, Mitch, and I'm going to say what? And you're going to say, if you don't have carnivore snacks, whatever do you snack on? And that's where the controversy comes in. Because I'm going to say to you, why do you think that you would ever need a snack? Think about that. We think that way because we're programmed to think that way. I mean, snacks are as important to the average person in this world as meals are. Everybody snacks. Just walk into a 7-Eleven or any store, even office supply stores, for God's sakes, have rows and racks of snacks, of bags of things, of bars, candy, snacks. And people need these snacks because they're living on sugar. They're living on sugar because probably 90 plus % of us are burning sugar as a primary fuel. And because of what sugar does to the body, up and down on the blood sugar levels, we get the cravings and we get the hunger, often within an hour or two of when we've just finished stuffing ourselves with a big meal. 5 eggs today. 5 eggs, 5 strips of bacon for my first meal today. That's what we're accustomed to. That's what our mothers put in our lunch boxes for school. Snacks are just part of our standard way of life. And here we are. We go on carnivore, and we're worried that we may not have a snack when we get hungry. Well, and I've never heard this talked about, and it's so important for your success. If you start this lifestyle and you want to be able to maintain it, and you want to get the maximum health benefits from this way of life, from this primal caveman style of eating, and here comes the hard part, you don't snack. Period. Snacks never existed in our ancestors' history. They ate meals. And their biology and their physiology was allowed to go through, and I think what's the most important thing, is a complete digestive cycle, which can take 2 or more hours to complete. One of the problems with snacks of any kind, on any lifestyle, is that we never allow our digestion to actually complete its cycle. Kind of like opening the dishwasher when it's halfway done. The cycle's not finished. The dishes aren't rinsed correctly. You have to let it run till it's finished. And a lot of things happen to our body while we're digesting food. We use a lot of energy. Our whole physiology changes during that period of digestion. We have to let it finish. And one thing that you'll notice as you get more into this carnivore lifestyle and you become fat adapted during that first 30 days is you will find that if you let your digestion do its job and don't eat anything more until your digestion is finished, you'll find that real hunger, not emotional eating or habit, but real hunger will not reappear. Oftentimes, not even for the rest of the day. When you couple that with time-restricted feeding, which has its own benefits, you'll notice that you're just not hungry. Now, during the initial adaptation period, yes, you may think you're experiencing hunger. You're not completely fat adapted yet. But after you get fat adapted, that hunger will not appear. You'll stop thinking about food all the time. The need for these snacks will never present itself. And what we do initially during that first 30-day period, where I recommend that you feed yourself whenever you think you're hungry, after the fat adaptation, you'll find that that hunger never reappears. And that successful carnivores, and I consider myself one of them after a year and a half, Successful carnivores never snack between meals. Eating anything should always be a meal, and it should always be eaten to satiety. Once you settle into this routine, you'll find that any snacks, carnivore or not, are counterproductive and really unnecessary. Sounds crazy. If you're struggling or you're trying to get into carnivore, yeah, snack. And in those cases, it would be appropriate to snack on only those things that are carnivore. But allow yourself to learn to recognize the difference between real and true hunger and habit and emotional eating. Oh, God, I love that sound. I never get over it. Allow yourself to recognize the difference between your body's signals, something real hunger, and the habit that we've gotten into after a lifetime of constantly stuffing food down our face for one reason or another, but definitely not the real reason we should be putting food into us, and that is real hunger. And not the fact that we think we're hungry, but it turns out that it's either a sugar roller coaster or just plain habit. And the only way to break that habit is to change your behavior, and that is don't snack. The real key is to wait at least 2-3 hours after you've eaten a meal to satiety before you even think about putting any other food in your mouth. You'll find you really don't want it. Now for me, I have not eaten a snack in 1.5 years, and it's worked great because all the benefits of carnivore that I was looking for have happened. I can eat 2 meals a day, 4 hours apart, maybe 5 at tops, never be hungry, not even hungry after my last meal until the next day, and then not even hungry or even thinking about food until noontime. So break the habit. My advice, get the concept of a snack out of your head, because snacks are not necessary and basically just disrupt the new physiology that you'll have that works so well and gives you that food freedom that very few of us have ever experienced in our lifetimes. Now, the moment you've all been waiting for. Excuse me while I beat my eggs. Thank you. To summarize, during the first 30 days, during your period of fat adapting, if you think you're hungry, eat. Always best to eat a meal, but if that doesn't work for you, then snack on appropriate foods. Once you're fat adapted, forget about the concept of snacking. You don't need it. You won't want it. Getting these things out of our heads, breaking lifelong habits, can be the most important thing that you can do for the rest of your life and makes this work like it's supposed to work. With that, take the rest of the day off and eat meat.